Hi, I'm Kaden.
This is Jordan.
This is a Life is Tough podcast.
And today we are going to talk about brain dumping. I know you read my little thing on it. Have you heard about it before that?
No.
Okay. So brain dumping is the process of getting all of your emotions out. And a lot of people will do verbally. So they'll talk, they have to express it and they have to talk about it to get it off of their mind. So it's not consuming everything, right?
Yeah.
So an option for brain dumping would be just writing everything down. So as you're writing your thoughts, don't worry if it makes sense. Don't worry if it's in order. Just get it out as it comes to you. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, another option for people that are uncomfortable about writing their thoughts down because of fear of judgment or maybe like a domestic violence situation where they don't want the other person to read what they're writing in fear of, just in fear. Or like a teenager trying to express themselves without worrying about repercussions. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So a way to do that would be if I could talk today. Illegible writing. So what that means is your writing, it can look like scribbles, swirls, loops, or whatever, right? So you know how like little kids write and it just kind of might look like that?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you're brain dumping and you want to do the illegible brain dumping where nobody can read what you're writing, so as you get your thoughts going, you're just going to scribble, loop, make swoops, or whatever. Okay?
Okay.
Does that make sense? Yeah. Kind of. Okay, well, we're going to try it.
So I don't write like words or anything. I just...
You can, or you can do just the swirls or whatever.
Okay.
So what we're going to do, do you have your phone with you? Can you set a timer?
Yeah.
Set it for 1 minute. And then the first prompt I want to do with this is, what is everything that is stressing me out right now?
What is everything that's stressing me out right now?
Yes.
How long do you want this timer to be?
60 seconds, minute.
Okay. All right, ready?
Yep. Okay.
Goofy little...
All right, so did you write words?
I wrote
Scribbly words? Okay, so I get what you're doing. I stopped and I had periods placed in a few spots when I ended my thought, so I understand that. How do you feel after you did it for a minute? Do you feel any different about what was going through your mind? Does it make any clearer sense? Was it starting to? Were thoughts starting to come together?
Yeah.
Did it feel more jumbled?
It kind of felt a little jumbled, but it also felt like they were coming together. But I think it only felt jumbled because I'm not used to it. I always write down my feelings.
Right, but because you weren't doing it legibly, is that why?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you think if we did this okay, so they say 10, 15 minutes of journaling a day could help with your emotions, right? Do you think doing that for 10 to 15 minutes, do you think you could actually get your thoughts in order to where you could think clear, maybe get more resolution on things?
Yeah, probably.
You don't think it would make things more stressful?
No, I mean, it might be a little hard, but I feel
at
like...
first or
yeah,
altogether?
At first.
Okay.
Because I kind of have to, like, go through everything and make sure, like, I understand that, like, where I'm coming from and stuff.
As you're reading what you're writing?
Yeah.
Okay, so the part of the scribbly typewriting, that is so you don't have to go back and read it to make sure it makes logical sense. So when you're doing it, you don't need to go in chronological order of the events. So this is what happened, and this is how it happened, and this is the next event, and this is how that happened. Because our brains don't always work like that, right? So as you're writing, you're going to think about one thing, but then something else gets thrown in there, right? Even though it doesn't make logical sense, that's what your brain is bringing up. So using the scribbly writing allows you to just get it all out without thinking about that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Do you think that would be a beneficial tool for other young adults to learn?
Yeah.
Or practice?
Probably start off by practicing.
Right.
Because a lot of people tend to write, and I don't know, it's just...
Do you feel with using like the scribbly writing? I did it to you, I'm sorry. So yeah, so the scribbly writing, do you feel like writing that way will keep somebody from worrying about if it makes sense?
Yeah.
And okay, just might we need more practice to it?
Yeah.
Okay, so the reason I brought this up was because this is a tool that I've never heard of until now. So everybody journals, well, not everybody, because some people are afraid of their journal getting read, right? And it being used against them.
Yeah.
I thought this was an amazing tool for somebody in, a sketchy relationship, a teenager that just doesn't want to express everything out loud yet. They need to get their thoughts in order first, right? Because if I'm coming to you and I'm just bleh, all of it, are you going to take it all in?
No.
No, you're just going to take parts, right?
Mm-hmm.
So an analogy that I had for this, and you can tell me if this makes sense or not. So you know how on your phone, you've got all the apps that you use daily, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're on your phone and you've got this game opened, you had TikTok open and YouTube, and you had all these, say you had like 10, 15 apps open, right? But you didn't shut them down.
It's like your thoughts.
Yes, it's like your thoughts. So you've got all of these thoughts running in the background, and they're constantly going. So if you have all these thoughts running in the background and say you're at school or at work, are you going to be able to focus on what you're supposed to be doing?
No.
No. So doing this allows you to quiet that mental chatter down. Does that make sense? Because you get all those voices, although not everybody can hear voices in their head. Did you know that? Not everybody has a voice. Actually, not everybody has a voice. And some people don't hear anything.
So, like, I don't know.
So, like, when
you're reading, for example?
Yeah. Some people don't have that voice. Or when they're talking to themselves in their head, no voice.
I have a voice.
Yeah, so do I.
Sort of.
Everybody usually does. But then there's some people that can hear it in other people's voices. So, like, if you're thinking of something I said or something a dad said, some people can hear it in our voice.
Like, when I'm thinking of something you say, I hear it in your guys' voice.
Okay, not everybody can do that. That's like thoughts. Okay, so when you're working through things and you can kind of picture things in your head of what happened or what went wrong, some people can't. They can't see anything. It's just black. Some people can see fragments. So say you're in a classroom full of kids, right? And you tell every kid to think of an apple in their head.
They're not going to think of the same thing.
Well, no, it's all going to come up different because of how their perception, right? Some kids are going to have, like a red apple with the little green leaf, the common little apple. Then you're going to have a kid that's going to have the apple, the whole branch connected to the tree. Then you might have another kid that can see the apple, the tree, and the whole wooded area around it. And then there's another kid that can't see crap.
Jeez. Oh my gosh.
I mean, with the whole noise thing, the voices and stuff, like, so I get up in the day and I can hear everybody else's voices, my own, and then I've got music playing on like a different tab, you know, an internet browser tab. I've got music going. I might have a podcast going over here. I might have a video game going over here.
Your Roblox.
My brain's just always on the go. Some people's aren't like that. They can quiet it down a lot faster. So for people like us that can't, this tool helps quiet that all down.
Okay.
Oh, so the phone analogy with all the apps open. So using this tool allows you to process all those emotions and thoughts and feelings that go with that event. So it's like you shut all of them apps off at once.
Wow.
And it allows that phone to work smoother, right? So your brain's going to work smoother and you're going to think clearer about situation.
Okay.
Does that make more sense now that I finished my analogy?
Yeah.
Do you think that's something you might use?
Maybe, yeah. Now that I understand what it's for, then yeah.
So like I said, it reduces that clearer thinking. So you know how when you have all those thoughts going and like you're really worried about a situation. So say like an upcoming test. So you're worried about that upcoming test and then all the thoughts kind of connect together with the problem of the test, right? So am I going to be prepared? Am I going to have all of my notes ready? You know, things like that. It causes you to get overwhelmed, right? It's like instant overwhelm when you start thinking about it. If you use that tool, it can help you regulate that to where you're not instantly overwhelmed.
Okay.
Okay. But I think that's all for this one. But brain dumping makes sense to you?
Mm-hmm.
And do you feel like it's a good tool for young adults?
Yeah.
What about younger children? Like, so maybe Kenny's age?
I mean, sort of.
Like 10?
But, I mean, like, I don't know, because I have both, my brother's 10, and I have a little sister that's 9, but I feel like...
But they do journal at that age.
Yeah, but I feel like maybe not, like, they wouldn't journal as into detail. They just
they would just write their feelings. Just basic. They wouldn't have all the details attached.
Like, I am mad, or...
Okay, right. Like so the whole purpose of journaling or like going to therapy is when you talk about it, just acknowledging that emotion or that feeling and why you're feeling it eliminates half of the problem with it.
Yeah.
So I think even for little kids to write, I'm mad because, I'm mad today because Jacob took and broke my purple crayon. They're acknowledging why they're mad. They're acknowledging the situation. The only part they wouldn't have the concept to do at that age would be how to fix it. But that's where the adults come in to teach them that.
Yeah.
But I still think it could be beneficial at that age, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because my age, go to your room and think about it.
I still get told by that. Or Dad still tells me that's fine. Go to your room and think about it.
Well, at your age, it's a little different. You can process things.
I used to.
Yeah.
And I mean, I did. Normally, I feel like when people say that, man, you do think about it. Like, as a little kid, you do go to your room and think about it, but you're also, like, upset or mad at the time. So you're like, oh, I just...
And your thoughts.
Yeah, and it just
spiral.
Mm-hmm. And it's a really big thing.
Right. So if, in that instance, if you had the tool to journal it and get it all out, do you think that would allow you to process it a little bit better?
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe for a practice thing for kids, I would say for younger kids, it could be beneficial. Something to look into, right? And even if they're toddlers, it doesn't have to be written words, right? It could just be scribbles. So they can scribble and get all their emotions out because they are moving that energy, right? Right?
Yeah.
And you're happy and you're coloring and you're getting your emotion out and you can see it on the coloring page, right? It'd be the same thing with trying to get your sad or mad emotions out, I think.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's all for brain dumping for today.
I don't have
If you guys have any questions, thoughts, comments,
words. Just let us know.
let us know. Thank you. Bye.
Oh.